All right. So this is a live screen on YouTube, and I'm going to be talking about the transformation of the sexual energies and breath work for transforming the sexual energies. And for me, that has always happened with holographic breathing. Holographic breathing is a breathing system that I brought through myself about 20 years ago. And always with that, the sexual energies have released. And move through the body a bit like an inner lovemaking in different forms of inner lovemaking, and it's transformed through the body and through the brain and connected to the higher self. So there's a sexual element, a lovemaking element, a health element, a connection to the higher self, the divine realms, channels, healing type element, a very physical element of how it connects to your body and heals through your body, and not just rising through your body, it drops down through the legs, down through the arms, and it heals down and grounds you. So it works naturally. It just starts processing. Holographic breathing is a kind of inner tantric healing system, an inner kundalini healing system. And for those who don't know what holographic breathing is, it's just a simple process. It's an activation. There will be a link in the description below and a link at the end to a video where you can learn holographic breathing in a guided meditation and take it further in different ways. And I have hundreds of such like videos on YouTube where you can work with it for yourself. But as a basic thing in holographic breathing, the structure of it is that the lips are relaxed and closed, the tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth, the breath is through the nose, and within that there is a gentle motion of the jaw. On the in-breath, the jaw is relaxing open, and on the out-breath, the jaw is relaxed closed, and that is done with the lips closed. And that produces the healing motion through the body, and it starts interacting with many other healing things go on, but it starts interacting with your genitalia, with your pelvic floor, with your rectum, sit bones, different areas of the pelvis are sexual energies which start releasing and evolving in many different ways. Again, for the new people, I'm just going to give a short demonstration of holographic breathing, because it's not one of these very active breath works. It is more in the ancient traditions of breathing. It's very relaxed, very gentle, very meditative. So I will just give a few breaths demonstrations, and you won't see much. You just see it's very soft. You may see the movement of the jaw, but you will see that the lips do stay together, and very subtle breathing motion of the jaw. and very quickly takes you into a deeply transformational place. And part of that is this breathing motion, and the brain starts breathing, the kundalini starts rising, it starts activating the brain. And from the lower energies, it starts to transform the sexual energy. They start releasing in a similar way as they may do in lovemaking. It's more subtle. It's not so overwhelming. It becomes strong, but it starts in small ways and just grows. And I don't know what it's like, Tantra in a relationship with someone, because I haven't been in a sexual relationship since I got Lyme disease. Many, well, actually a few since I got it, but since I became very ill, and then when the since the holographic breathing came through, and I had become so ill, it was like I just didn't have the strength to be in a relationship. And I felt so broken up. I just didn't have the strength to do that. So my journey with this release has been inside myself. You become your own inner lover. And I guess if you're in a relationship, it will somehow advance that in one way or another. And for myself to be in a relationship, as I've worked more, I've been a healer for 45 years, there's fewer people. You gain a sensitivity, and you really need the other person to have a similar sensitivity. Otherwise, it can easily be drained. And after a point, I have just stayed with myself. And I've found that my inner development has just been much faster in that way. It's like a natural celibacy. It's not a forced celibacy where you say, I'm going to be celibate and I'm going to repress my sexual energies and I'm not going to masturbate. We can see the problems with that in the church, where those sexual energies come out in very horrible ways, dominating young children and things like that. But a natural celibacy where there's no need, the opposite to repressing the sexual energies, because you don't repress them. With holographic breathing, you are activating them, but rather than activating them to make love with another person, or activating them to throw them out, to get them out of yourself because you can't take the sensation of keeping them within yourself, releasing them out of yourself in sex or masturbation. So rather than doing that, the act of holographic breathing starts to release those sexual energies, so there isn't the pressure anymore. And they're releasing up through the body, or they're releasing down through the body. They're releasing in different ways, and they're turning into different energies, and they're clearing your karma. So there isn't the pressure of the sexuality or the build-up of sexual energies as that is being released, but there is the pressure of having to deal with what that entails, being able to assimilate your process, to be able, say, for instance, it starts releasing up through the digestion, works through the rectum. The rectum is a sexual organ. It has a sexual quality to it in holographic breathing, where it releases up through the spine, it releases up through the genitalia. And you start working with the karma of your digestion. There is the pressure of that karma, of those memories, of those past lives to do with that. So on one hand, it relieves one pressure. On another way, it's a deep and intrinsic healing. Where you are evolving, not just transforming your sexuality, you're transforming yourself. So for me, this is true Tantra. I know there are a lot of groups of how to do sex with other people. But I don't know, I haven't been to them. I don't know how much of that is Tantra or how much of that is just getting a nice relationship and having good sex, if it's considered good sex. So I don't know that having good sex is tantric. If you are moving, that relationship is moving you spiritually and deeply into love. And I think for myself, looking back at relationships, they have been good in many ways, but moving forward spiritually, I found it easier on my own. I still having lots of friends, but not the necessity to be with one particular person to express sexually with another person. It seems far less complicated for that sexuality to express within myself. It's not dependent on another person. And within this, it is good or almost essential, certainly at a particular point, maybe not before that particular point, but it does become important not to masturbate, because you are just throwing out that base energy and you are producing spirits, connecting, maybe masturbating about a person you know, and you're connecting energetically with that person, or you're connecting energetically with fantasies or different entities or different things, or the energy of porn, which probably, I'm not going to say definitely, probably isn't good for your energy. So you don't want to repress your sexuality. You do need to let it out. But a holographic breathing gives you the opportunity to do that within yourself. It gives you a framework, inner healing framework that activates the sexual energies to release through your body, through your brain, through your mind, and to the higher self. So the sexual, and in that scenario, it doesn't matter all of these different stuff about, am I gay? Am I a lesbian? Am I something else? Am I heterosexual? Am I not heterosexual? What is my sex? it becomes meaningless. And these thoughts of having to change yourself physically, of what you consider to be yourself, this for me is terrible. You are perfect, whatever your body is, whatever your sexuality is. We all have different levels of different sexuality, and they change depending on our mind and the way we move our energies as well. They are mutable. But when you are transforming and moving with your own sexual energy, and it's turning into inner lovemaking, that whole diverse situation and thoughts completely disappears, and any judgments you have about your own sexual energies or persona completely evaporates. It's just an energy, a divine energy that is being transformed within you, an inner sexual transformation within yourself and healing. And it stops becoming sexual as it travels up through the heart. It becomes love. As it goes through the lungs, it becomes joy and clear. You know, there is joy and different things. There's also the karma, the pressure, the traumas. It starts working and releasing through those. And it's not a cathartic thing where you start screaming and shouting and beating pillows and all of this stuff that I've noticed around. I'm not saying all breath work, but some breath work. It's not that. You don't have to do it in that way. Holographic breathing is a meditative, where that you are healing that stuff on a meditative level, and at a level where you can assimilate it, a healing level, and a level where it works at all levels, and it works through the body, it works through the emotions, it works through the intellect, it works through the mind, and it connects to the higher self. Things truly don't start healing for me as that, and until that energy travels through the mind, releases into the higher self, and connects to the divine beings, the higher self, the subtle realms. And then all that is held in my body, all of the karma, all of the different things and entities and everything becomes connected with my higher self, and I'm no longer a individual. I'm no longer a individual. I can't think of the word. Separate entity, no longer separate from God, no longer separate from the higher self. That this body, these emotions, this mind, this physicality is somehow a separate energy, a separate car driving along by itself. And that is me, that is my identity. That goes. And you become one with the divine energies. They are part of holographic. You know, it's mirrors of mirrors of mirrors, and then another mirror of that is the higher self. You are part of the higher self. The higher self is part of you, and when that is energetically and consciously happening, you are not the same person anymore. You are not held by that karma anymore. You are truly a divine being, and that karma can melt. That karma it's kind of held in us because we've held ourselves as separate. But when we are no longer separate, when we are part of the divine, that karma is just not there in the same way anymore. I guess once it's all completely and utterly transformed, we leave our bodies, but it's no longer just this unsolvable puzzle, these unsolvable loops, that just circles that just go round and round and round. Once we connect to the higher self, that breaks that circle. And that automatically happens in holographic breathing. Automatically, it starts connecting to the sexual energies. Automatically, it starts transforming the sexuality if you allow it. Automatically, it starts processing. You're doing it in a meditative way where you are in your body and it's coming up at a speed where you're able to assimilate it. It is in that realm, it is at that level, and it works through the different areas of the body. It's at that level where it's interacting with the brain. The brain is breathing with the fluids of the brain, with the consciousness of the brain, and it is transcending if you allow it. Now, there's many nuances to this, which are, they're different. I've mapped out different circuits that are ignited through the body, that all of them start from the sexual energies and rise through different organs, different vertebrae, different parts of the face and brain, and each area of the body, it's like fractals. It has this particular matrix for each part, and then the whole body is like the matrix, and then the connection to the higher self is like that same matrix over and over. And people think of the sexual energies as just one energy. At the end of this and in the description, I will leave a link to a video where it's a free video where we do work through the different sexual energies, and like the ovaries, testes, uterus and prostate. This is more fire energy. The vagina, urethra, soft tissue of the penis. The blue energies add very electrical quality, connects also to the bladder, to the kidneys, the adrenals, the clitoris and the erectile tissue and the urogenital diaphragm. This is another energy, the yellow energies. The rectum is a different sexual energy again, and connected to colon, the lungs, central brain complex. The sit bones, different areas of the pelvis, deep, dark earth energies. The different higher areas of the pelvis connect to the brain and higher energies. And if you think of it as one, it's not so easy just to transform it. But if you understand that matrix and work with that, they automatically start healing. Like when I was first holographic breathing started coming through, I was taking it up through the face, and I was more moving centrally. I wasn't so much thinking of the large sinuses here. I was more thinking of the nasal passageways, which is to do with the heart, the hara, also the ovaries, testes, uterus, and this fire energy was opening, and it was becoming very, how do I deal with this fire that's going off in my genitalia? Because I hadn't learned how to activate the different areas of the face. I hadn't learned to activate the different areas of the sexual energy. But over the years, I've mapped out these different circuits, and they're all available in the advanced webinars, which are paid for. There's loads and loads of free webinars, which, to be honest, go beyond, far beyond anything else I've seen. I may be sounding a bit arrogant, but that's just what I think. There's incredible, and most people don't like it because there is so much to it. They go, oh my God, there's this and there's this. I just want an answer. It's not like just one breath work. You just keep doing it. Well, it is one breath work, but it opens up this multi-diversity that goes on forever. And I've taught, and it's more like a Ayurvedic medical course or something like that, to learn all of the different areas. You can just do it in a very simplistic way, but if you want to go into it in depth, then it is good to also come to the advanced webinars. But there is more than enough in the free webinars as well, as there will be, my finger's not there, probably here somewhere towards the end, or even now, depends when I finish, there will be a video where you can go into that in more depth. All right. Thank you. Thank you for listening here. Here. Click on this. Click this bit where it says, and you can experience those sexual energies, the different sexual energies in the pelvis here. All right. Thank you. Bye.